pause for the cause right now. Road to 1,000,000 in a fucking pandemic.
Yeah.
Who the fuck does that?
Yeah.
Like, nobody's making money.
And when we say road to 1,000,000, we mean
Million liquid. Liquid. Like, so I would definitely say COVID-19 has like been a huge impact on us personally, professionally, and just in every aspect of like what we do. For most people, they look at it like it was a negative, but I think for us, we looked at it as though, you know, it's just a necessary obstacle as business owners. You know, like being in this business, we go through so much, we learn so much, we see crazy shit every day. You know what I'm saying? So I think for us, it's like being in business is like being on a roller coaster. You got your ups, your downs, your twists, your turns, and so all COVID-19 for us was
and still is.
It still is.
Yes.
Thank you for saying that. It's really just a necessary obstacle that we had to overcome. Of course, we are sensitive to, you know, the many lives that, you know, it's impacted and taken, and we're sensitive to, you know, overcoming like the pandemic with, you know, different vaccines and just, you know, hoping, you know, we can come up with a solution for it. But seeing so many businesses that were like closed down for good, like some of our favorite places we like to go, you know, like literally never opening their doors again. Like, it's either like a smack in the face where it's like a reality check, or it's just like you're gonna just sink
or swim.
Sink or swim. You know, it's so for us, I think it was a reality check for us. It was a level up to where we looked at it like, okay, we're gonna figure this out. We're gonna map this out, and we're gonna push forward, and we're gonna make the most of this situation. Whereas I think most people looked at it, it's just like, you know, it was very easy to get complacent. It was very easy to complain, and it was very easy to like depend on or wait for something else to come through that you really weren't for sure if it was gonna come through. So I think for our situation, we just looked at it as though like we had to grind it out and do everything we've been doing to get to that point.
Yeah.
Because nobody gave us anything.
Yeah.
We didn't get any financial support, anything. So I think for us to really sit down and map everything out for ourselves, I think it was really just it was a humbling experience, and it was definitely an enlightening experience. And I think the fact that we figured out a way to overcome it was just, it was a huge accomplishment for us, right?
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, for sure. When I first came to the realization what was going on with, you know, just the world, I was very confused. There were days where I was, you know, depressed, because I just didn't know what direction, you know, we were going in. I was steady looking at other businesses that were closing down, and I was really just fearful for, you know, just our business, and really just fearful of everyone that depends on us. So it was definitely stressful for me.
I felt like you handled it well though, like far as you didn't like immediately just let it like get you down. You were just more optimistic as far as like, okay, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's when we kind of put our heads together and we came up with a plan.
Yeah.
I think just even if it was like, if the plan would 100% not worked out,
Yeah.
having a plan is like having a navigation.
Yeah.
It's gonna guide you through where you're trying to go, and it's gonna kind of redirect you if you get off path. So I think that was our first like right thing we did. Like, and all right, let me just paint the picture for this. This wasn't nothing fancy. We went to Walmart.
Yeah, so we literally, like, we went to Walmart. So the first couple of days, we were like, woo-hoo, hip, hip, hooray. Like, this is a mini vacation. Like, we get to chill. Like, this is something that's needed. And then, you know, 45 days going in, we're like, okay, we're kind of scratching our heads a little bit about, you know, what direction we're going in. And literally, we're hitting our 60-day mark, and we're like, what the hell is going on? Like,
Right.
we're pulling from our savings account. We see that our staff is just, filing for unemployment,
Yeah.
and I mean things are just going completely left. So we went to Walmart. We got all these what do you call it?
Poster boards, like
poster
whiteboards,
I got all these glitter
magic markers.
yeah, magic markers and letters, and we literally mapped out our road to a million. Someone that really inspired us was B. Simone through the pandemic. She had a road to a million, and she was a huge inspiration for us. And we were like, if she can do it, we can do it. So we mapped out our road to a million, and we factored in our business from our Raleigh, Durham location, Will Social Bistro and Lounge, and then we also factored in Split here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And then we also factored in our different personal endeavors that we had going on.
Our consulting company.
Yeah, our consulting company as well, KNF Consulting. And then we also factored in our personal endeavors. With Will, he has some personal endeavors.
My real estate dibble and dabbles, my Airbnb, I was a landlord. I was trying to dibble and dabble in that whole real estate realm.
Yes.
But
and then, and then for me, just focusing on how I can really just maximize into people that are just inspired by me, that share that same dreams and aspirations as me at such a young age. Just figuring out our game plan and how we can maximize on how to reach our different, demographic and clientele base. So literally, we spent probably about a week and a half just mapping out our road to a million. And literally, when we got that green light that we were able to open, we applied every single thing. And people think that, we benefited off of, just being the only restaurant in Charlotte, North Carolina that was open. Like, no, like that's not what it was. We literally mapped out
100% plan.
every single thing.
We planned this shit. Yeah, it was 100% planned. And pause for the cause right now. Road to a million in a fucking pandemic. Who the fuck does that? Yeah. Like, nobody's making money.
And when we say road to a million, we mean
million liquid. Liquid. Like not million like we gross, no. No, this is net after all the deductions.
Like we can log into our bank account.
Who does that?
Yeah.
Who would plan that after being shut down for 3 months, 4 months, say, hey, we're gonna come out of this thing and we're gonna make $1 million. Who does that? Yeah. We told people, some people were like, okay, that's very optimistic. Some people laughed at us. But you know what? It didn't even matter because we knew exactly what we were capable of. And we did that shit. And we did it like it was nothing. Like, and after we did it, we were like, wow, like, what's next? We were like, wow, what's next? Because we were just like, we came out of it so motivated, and that's why it's so important to set goals for yourself, for your family, for the person you with, because it really sets the bar for what you need to do to motivate you to keep pushing you to go to the next level. And for us, it was just something. It doesn't even matter about the dollar amount. It was more about the expectation we set for ourselves in a time frame where really we were supposed to be struggling. We were supposed to be asking the government for money, for assistance. We got none.
We did all that. Yeah.
We did all the applications, everything, and it was just like, no, we have the wherewithal to do this for ourselves. All we need to do is get the opportunity, right?
Yeah.
And so the cool thing about it is everybody thinks the success happened because we got lucky. No, we planned everything out strategically, and it's happening exactly the way it should. And so the pandemic, I say it's been a blessing and a curse. The only reason I say it's been a curse is because there have been so many lives lost and so many families impacted by this pandemic. You have, your heart goes out to those individuals. As business owners, we feel the same way, but we have to also have that survival instinct in us to where, yeah, we're sympathetic, but we also have to survive. So for us, it's like we we hurt for everybody who's lost loved ones. We hurt for the people who have been impacted. You even had COVID, you know, and it sucks, you know. So we wish that on nobody, but nobody really had empathy for us. We got put into a situation where we had no choice. If we had a choice, we would have shut down, waited this thing out. We would have sat back and collected a check. Yeah. That's what we would have done in a perfect world.
Settling to be another statistic.
We did not. We operated and we did because we did not have a choice. And I want to be very clear on that because that's the reality of the situation. The rent was still due.
And they were not.
They were not giving any breaks.
Yeah.
The light bill was still due. They might not have disconnected you, but that bill was still adding up. Yeah. So everything was still coming. So it was like a double standard because you felt as though everybody was saying, "Oh, we're so sorry this is happening," but nobody was giving any relief far as just giving breaks on the bills being due. Yeah. So we were doing what we had to do because we didn't have a choice. And we had some negative publicity that came out of it because a lot of people said that we were, insensitive what was going on. But to each his own, until you walk a mile in these shoes, yeah, you will never understand what it feels like to be in our shoes. Yeah. And that's with no disrespect, it's with all the respect. Because when all the weight is on your shoulders and you have other people who depend on you to feed their families, to how they maintain their households, it hits different. And it's not for everybody to understand, and we respect that. But for us, we knew exactly what we had to do, and we did it. And I'm very proud, even though we're not through it, I'm glad we're on the other side of it to where, we can look back at it and we can say, if you could change anything, would you do it? And I would say I wouldn't change a thing because it worked out toward our good.
And I feel like we did a really good job as far as, just implementing, make sure we were in line with like CDC guidelines. I mean, of course, like it was like trial and error at the very beginning because this is something that the whole entire world, is going through. It's something that we're all trying to get adjusted to. But I feel like we did a tremendous, job as far as implementing, making sure we are in CDC guidelines to the best to our ability. I do know at times, the business came very, I don't know the word you would call it, but, business became very just at such a high volume where we didn't necessarily know how to like control it, but I still feel like we still did a good job at implementing CDC guidelines, is making sure everybody had their mask on, and everybody was so judgmental of things when certain situation had got out in the media, of people taking videos, and then you see videos of people not wearing their mask, and it's just like, okay, we're doing our part by going around making sure everybody has on their mask, but at the end of the day, it's like, how much can you force people that are coming in that are spending good money to do that, but for the most part, I feel like we did a good job as far as operations as implying those CDC guidelines. I mean, we had forms, right. We had series of questions that were asking each individual that were coming in, have they been in contact with someone that has had COVID? Have they traveled outside of the United States within the last 14 days? Have they had fever, chills? So we really just did operations to the best of our ability, and it was our first time going through it, just like everyone else. So.
Yeah. I definitely agree. I think even the meetings with like the local health departments and the fire chief and all those guys, when they came in and we did like a collaborative meeting with everybody, and they kind of listened to us and heard some of our concerns, and we heard them, and we kind of could finally hear each other without all the noise from the media and the government. I think we finally were able to make progress. I think they felt our pulse and we felt theirs, and I felt like the common ground was we both understood where we stood. And then I feel like after that meeting, things changed. We had so many run-ins where they were coming in and they were just coming in with a narrative, a false narrative. Yeah. But after they got to know us and they saw that we were actually making effort
Yeah.
I felt like they were very understanding. We definitely appreciated that because
Yeah.
I felt like, you know, they could have took a whole different stance to it, but we really appreciate them working with us
Yeah.
because they understood our pain and I think we understood theirs, and we found a common ground to work in the middle, and I felt like that was exactly what both sides needed to kind of like move forward. So
Yeah.
I think it worked out toward our good.
And I feel like, you know, out of all the other venues in Charlotte right now, I feel like we are in that top three um, that are really taking, you know, COVID matters into consideration. Like we have those measures in place. A lot of other venues that you go to, it's just kind of like a thing where they have these signs posted, but they're really not taking those things into consideration. Where we're actually doing the measures. We're going around, we're walking around,
Doing it consistently.
We're making sure people have a mask. We're taking temperature checks. We're providing hand sanitizer. We're providing those series of questions at the door. So yeah, for sure.
I think the real answer to that is there's no perfect answer to that.
Yeah.
Like I think just being real, it's trial and error. You know, you learn through your mistakes.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a hard industry. It's the toughest industry that's out there. Like there's no tougher industry than what we do. And really because it's a service industry where we rely on other people to come in and let's just be real. People are not consistent.
Yeah.
You know, but I feel like our standard is consistent.
Yeah.
The standard and the vibe that we create is consistent. So regardless of whether people come through consistently, I think we do a great job of keeping a standard which brings a consistent flow of people, whether it's the same people or different people. I feel like as far as balancing things out with us, it's just, you know, it's hard. I mean, if this was easy, like everybody would be doing it, but
Yeah.
it's extremely hard. Like, you know, they say you're not supposed to mix business with pleasure, but we defy that every single day we get up. And what it is it's a choice. What we do is a choice, and we choose to be who we are. We choose to be influential people who really, every time we step out of the bed every day, like we choose to make a difference.
Yeah.
Like we choose to be different by the way we conduct our business. We choose to be different by our interactions with people and how we treat people the way we want to be treated.
Yeah.
So in reality, like it's definitely a challenge, but I feel like that challenge for us is a lot different because like we really are the real people that people aspire to try to be, but they have to fake it to be real. Ooh, that was a message right there. Did you catch that? No, this is serious. Like people fake the funk to be like what we really are.
Right.
Like we're really like those type of people who, when we say we care, we really care.
Yeah.
Like if we didn't care, we wouldn't say we did care. We really want to change the narrative. We really want to build people up. So I believe there's two type of people in this world. Like there's people who, you know, they do what they do and they do it for whatever reason serves them. And I think in that regard, like I call it like it's a negative karma that comes around. Then there's people like us who really serve other people, right? And we put out what we want to receive and what we wanted to get when we first started out. And all it does is it creates a positive karma. So karma's not bad if you put out good. It's good on good, you know? So I feel like everything that's happening in our life is because we've done it the wrong way, and we saw like that's not really who we are, and we said, you know what, let's switch that up. Like we put good out. And so even with me and your situation, like people wonder why our situation works, because me and you, we're like polar opposites.
Yeah.
like everything ain't just like peaches and cream. Like it's a challenge, you know, but we choose to make it good because we realize like the impact we have together is so much greater than the impact we have apart. So it's just, it boils down to like it being a choice that we make every day to get up and be great at what we do, has zero to do with money, but let's just be real, like money makes the world go round. So that's just the bipartisan kind of like recipient of what you put in. Like money is like the trophy you get.
Yeah.
You still win and you still feel great because you won the race.
Right.
But the trophy feels good because it goes around your neck and it's like, okay, you can hang that in the room.
Right.
That's how money is. Like money is like, okay, you need that to kind of like make a certain level of success,
yeah,
and fulfill it from a worldly standpoint.
Yeah.
But for me, like money means nothing to me. Like, you know how I am with money. I can't stand money. Like I see what money I see what money does to people. It's sickening. So I try to stay away from money. But what I say is like, I feel like when it comes to balancing business with pleasure and also business just in how we balance it, I feel like it's just a choice we make to be successful. And the choice we make to like say, hey, we're gonna put our personal needs and wants to the side for the greater good. It's a choice. If we choose to be for ourselves, this would never work out. The reason it works is because we choose to be for everyone. I choose to be, it's like playing a team sport.
Yeah.
If you go out on the basketball court and you're playing just so you can score 50 points and the team loses, then you just worried about you looking good. Me and you are more worried about the team winning. That's the only reason like this whole situation and what we do and everything we touch turns to gold is because we put other people first before we put ourselves. And we don't look down on anybody. We look at the opportunities and we see things in other people that they don't even see in themselves. So I think that's what makes like our whole life just different. And I never question why things happen to us. Everything happens to us. We already said it was gonna happen. It just happens, at unique times because, I feel like the number one ingredient to success is patience. And I feel like for me and you, like things just happen in the course of whatever time they're gonna happen, which is not fast, but it happens when it's meant to happen, So, yeah, that's my little 2 cents.
I know that a lot of people depend on me and Will, just to continue to make a living for themselves and their family. But majority of the time, I'm just so consumed in my day-to-day life. My lifestyle is very, very, very fast. So sometimes I forget to kind of just take that step back and just kind of,
Taking the moment.
taking the moment. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's crazy because we talk to people a lot about the lifestyle of being like a business owner, especially in this industry. It's very fast paced. It's very you have to you have to adapt to so many changes at one time, and it's just very demanding for us. Just like how much people expect of you on a day-to-day basis. So it's a lot, to balance in addition to your personal life that goes on. So it's very easy to lose sight of just being aware of like the little things. But that's why sometimes it's really good to get reminders.
Yeah.
Just people that just let you know that, hey, just we appreciate you, and people who pull you to the side and say just thank you for what you guys are doing, and even somebody just sending a simple text message, just saying like, hey, what you guys are doing is great, because I don't care who you are, what level of success you've reached. Like everybody needs, they need somebody to just let them know like that. I call it accountability partner. Just somebody who lets you know like, hey, we really appreciate you. You're doing the right thing, and thank you. Just a little small gestures, like they go a long way, because in our industry, it's just grind all day, grind all night most of the time, and it's really it's really tough to just like, um, what I say, taking a moment sometimes when you're being pulled so many different ways. So for us, I think we definitely, by the feedback we get from the people who we pour into and our staff and our day ones, like we definitely get constant reminders of like the appreciation they have for us. And believe it or not, like that's what pushes us to keep growing because we realize like so many people depend on us, so many people they're motivated by us,
Yes.
and that motivates us. So it's just like a win for everybody because we're, at the end of the day we're all a team. We don't look at ourselves as being any greater than anybody. We look at ourselves as just being um, people who have dreams, and we're no different from anybody else, with the exception of like we just chose to take the leap of faith to do the things that we aspire to do from a business and a personal standpoint. So we push each other, and we try to get other people, try to inspire other people around us. Yeah. So
So 2020 has taught me, most of all, is to be appreciative and don't take things for granted. I don't want to get emotional, but yeah, 2020 has definitely humbled me from a personal level. I feel like I've grown as an individual, as a business owner, as a future wife, as a sibling, as a aunt. Just don't take things for granted. Life is so short, and it's really taught me just to continue to be appreciative and to just wake up every single morning and just thank the man above for just another day, for just being able to see another day. So
I would say what 2020 has taught me is that um, despite any obstacles that are put in front of you, that anything you set your mind to and your grind to is possible. Because every obstacle that can be thrown at us was thrown at us this year. I feel like we made a decision up in our mind that we wanted to overcome any situation, and we had a positive attitude about it. And people might tell you like that doesn't matter, but us sitting here right now, it's definitely is the reality of making up your mind that your situation doesn't dictate your outcome, and what's going on around you doesn't dictate your outcome. I was talking to my trainer, and he said, if you could come up with one phrase for 2020, what would it be? And the phrase I came up with was block out the noise. Um, and the reason I say that is because if you watch the news, you hear other people, everybody's just all this noise in your ear about COVID, about it'll put you into a depression.
yeah,
But if you learn how to block it out to where you can have tunnel vision and focus on what you're trying to do, it's like an NBA player shooting a free throw. You're focused in, and the only thing you're worried about is making that basket and making that free throw. So I like to liken that to what this year was for us. We were able to block out the noise. We were able to focus in on what we were doing, and we were able to make the damn free throw. And and for us, it's a huge accomplishment, and it's not to be like underestimated because it was very difficult to do. It was very difficult. It's very difficult. I mean, most people won't tell you that, as far as just keeping the faith and keeping a positive attitude. But when everything around you is crumbling, it's very hard to be positive, But we found a way, and we found little things to. One thing we did, we found ways to bond together, and we did things to kind of take our mind off of what was going on. One of them was like we started working out together. We were running every day, and we were doing weird shit. We were doing all kind of weird shit. We were going Instacarting together. Now, don't get me wrong, Instacart was fun. Like, I'm sorry, like most people are like, oh, y'all on the job with Instacart. We had so much fun Instacarting, and then of course We were like, oh wow, we made enough money to pay our groceries for the week from Instacart. Like it was super fun. I mean, so we just find like ways to like really put our time towards different stuff. And like we said earlier, like we we went into Walmart, we got some whiteboards and we mapped out everything. So we really like made a good use of our time. Like we didn't waste our time. We made it value added. And we invested either in our businesses, in our health, or in each other. So that was the difference maker. So 2020 has just taught me to never give up and to, block out the noise and really just work through like any obstacles that's put in front of you. And if you need any motivation, look no further than me and this woman right here. Like we are the motivation. Like the fact that we're still standing and some of the opportunities that have come to us from that are going to be life changing. Not just for us, but for everybody around us.
Yeah.
That's the blessing in all this. And that's a wrap.